Greetings, this is Kal Kat, the Kal Kat, and all that stuff. And on the set of the Kal Kat show. And I'd like to report today that I saw Tim Cantrell, one of our stars from On Location 2, and all of the spin-offs of our journal series. Tim Cantrell also starred in Star Crackers and was a creative consultant and set design consultant on the Transformers Meet Robotech, the Transformers Meet Robotech, and yeah, so mainly we talked about mainly we talked about Transformers in its various iterations, including the Transformers Animated, the Beast Wars, the Beast Machines, Beast Hunters, Transformers Prime, all that stuff, and the Michael Bay movies. We talked quite a lot about those, and how he didn't really like the dumb comedy in those movies. And although at first he liked some of it, but then like rewatching it, he's like, this is kind of stupid. he's like, yeah, it doesn't really work, you know. So yeah. So he liked the iterations of Batman. Wished that they would make these. So he liked the versions of Batman. We both wished that the '60s Batman series would get put out on official DVD release on Blu-ray, but it hasn't been yet. And as well as the original Linda Carter Wonder Woman would be cool to put on DVD if they ever get around to it. Yeah, that would be cool. And they have put the Super Friends out. I just don't think they put it all out. He apparently saw some early pictures of the new Ninja Turtles. Megan Fox was going to be it. He's like, no. Oh. He really didn't like that they changed the Dukes of Hazzard and made it stupid. Generally the stuff that we didn't like either. And he thought that the Talia and Ra's al Ghul thing and Bane was done wrong in the third Batman movie. And that the third Bane should have been more of a guy with a luchador mask on, or wrestling mask, than an actual guy with a mechanical mask. That way he wouldn't sound like he was underwater. Yeah, they didn't do that. But he didn't like the Arnie freeze either. So, his parents have moved out of the Campbell house over to the Villages, and he is apparently living with Annie, his wife, somewhere in, I guess, near the border of Santa Clara and San Jose. That years ago, when I was in my 20s, I tended to splurge on toys, and this one guy is called Weird Wolf. It was a Transformer. Jim had given his Weird Wolf up to the Valco comic shop, toy store place, and I went and got it immediately afterward and paid $40 for it, when I could have just gotten it from Jim if he hadn't sold it for like 10. But I didn't know what I was doing back then. Also, from that same era, I had a $250 Robotech that appeared in the Trans-Tech series for a total of 2 minutes or something, because I kept it around all those years. But it had been played with, so at that point it wasn't worth 200 or even 100 at that point. It was probably worth 50 because I played with them. Ooh. Jim received his copy of the Hoist Transformers from the 30th anniversary Transformers. So yeah, I'm probably wondering on what there's any other Trans-Tech news out there. Well, there actually is a little. It looks like the green light has been given for a script to be written, a script treatment of the next Trans-Tech series, and that Transformers Meets Robotech, not the company out there. It's called Trans-Tech, which means something else. Now, Transformers Meets Robotech, the sequel, spin-off, follow-up, will apparently take place in 2040 or thereabouts, and will have the elements of the space bridge and the Matrix and the Prime Matrix and all that. But it'll have, and of course the Power Matrix. But it'll also be heavy with G.I. Joe and other stuff. So that should be cool. And it's probably going to be mini-series form. And Marx Cards will probably be involved as a consultant, as well as Tim Cantrell. And maybe Marx Cards will lend a voice to it. We're not sure what it's going to look like yet, because there's been no casting. It's just very early stages. There is a script treatment. There is an outline. We know the first 2 or 3 people that are in it. Apart from that, we have nothing new about that. Meanwhile, over there at Star Trek Chimera, we just did some filming here on the set of the Star Trek Chimera, and we have to report that it's the space battle. And once the space battle is over, they're down on the planet for the remainder of the movie. So it's the second half. So if this was a Star Trek episode, it would be like you'd have the first 45 minutes where they set up the whole thing and have the conflict, have the characters get where they're going, and in the middle of the third act of the 3-act play, the Odyssey, the whole thing, the whole deal, they have to be down on the planet at some point. So at the end of that act, or they have to be to their destination. So they reach the planet, and on the planet is where most of the rest of the action and story takes place. The characters and crew are continuing their story on the planet, and that is what is happening next. But we have to finish the space battle first. And it's been a long road to hoe to get to finishing the space battle, but it looks like we're at last going to get that done this month. See what happens. So the space battle's done, and it's on to the planet. Should be a little easier, but still dynamic. It still can't be like the Star Wars prequels and have like, there's a camera angle, here's another one. Yes, also was discussed was the about Star Wars with Tim. We discussed Star Wars and the prequels, and he didn't initially get that the C-3PO thing was a dumb idea, and then it didn't make sense. He thought, well, they should just like explain it away later on that Anakin built C-3PO. And I said, well, originally, according to the Star Wars expert Brian Story, he said actually C-3PO is from this planet called Karasek or something, and Anakin must have been building a kit model of a C-3PO, and there must have been, because otherwise it doesn't make sense. He didn't invent him; he just built him as a model. Tim thought that was funny. So anyway, so it's just a model. And the part at the end, they shouldn't have wiped his memory. They should have just blown him up, because then he would have forgot everything. He would have been blown up. I mean, C-3PO and Anakin too. Why not? So then, as for that, that's it. So that's all we got on the set. But yes, Tim liked it that the Trends Tech is using some of his artwork in the background. Somewhere in it is Mr. Mouth. There was this little Mr. Mouth character. Ahead of his time, because the little mouth guy, I don't know what happened to him, but Mr. Mouth was a bronze mouth. He had like eyes on top. Very much like the Nickelodeon All Real Monsters. And at that point it was 1990. I don't think that show was out yet. So he actually predated that character. A similar one of which appeared in the Monsters University. But he didn't see that movie. But yeah, so we have a tendency to come up with stuff someone else did somewhere else. We don't know what happened to the little monster mouth. We left him in his parents' front yard. I guess he disappeared. Like he was like a skull. We just left him out there. He got all bronzed. Oh, he's gone. He's probably under the deck. It's destroyed. I don't have him, but I do have my bronze sculptures. I have my little V sign with a little ear on it. I still have that. I still have one. Bronze sprue creatures. I also have the Soapstone Anthill thing, which looked like it was from something from Orson Scott Card, but I wasn't thinking of that, actually. Not at all. I was just thinking it would be cool to have like a Soapstone Anthill. So it looked interesting. And I had a soapstone sculpture of a fat girl on a beach. like on a rock, on a boulder. It wasn't supposed to be a fat girl. It's just that it's really hard to work with soapstone, and with the tools I had there. So the art class. So it ended up looking like a Rubenesque chick, but it wasn't supposed to be. So it's like, okay. Anyway, so there you go.